Senator Jonathan Martin just sent a letter to the Attorney General attacking rural boundaries in Orange and Seminole counties. Think about that. A senator from outside the region is trying to reshape growth rules that voters here already chose. That's not normal legislative behavior. That's targeted involvement. And once you slow down and read the letter, it actually becomes clear why he didn't stick to his own district. The arguments are weak, the logic is strained, and the conclusions don't follow the facts. Let's break down the fallacies he's using to sell this. He claims rural boundaries freeze land uses forever, even after annexation. That's a flat-out lie. Rural boundaries don't freeze anything. They just prevent suburban sprawl unless voters choose otherwise. You can still farm, build homes, run rural businesses, and get variances. He's attacking a fake version of the policy, so he doesn't have to address the actual one. That's textbook straw man, knocking down the argument he wishes existed, not the ones the counties actually passed. Then he tries to equate not getting a subdivision approved with the government took my land. That's like saying you're being starved because somebody didn't let you eat dessert. Limiting density is not the same as losing all economic use. Courts know that, planners know that, and he knows that. But he's counting on regular people not knowing the legal difference. That's a false equivalence. He claims that if we keep rural boundaries, everything becomes arbitrary and unconstitutional, and the whole planning system collapses. But none of that is real. That's a classic slippery slope, where he pretends a normal, basic planning tool automatically leads to some fantasy catastrophic outcome. It's fear-mongering dressed as analysis. He says landowners will shoulder losses alone, as if rural boundaries push people into financial ruin. But that's bull. Rural land keeps its value. Rural uses stay allowed, and the only people who feel a loss are speculators who wanted to flip farmland into subdivisions. That's not oppression. That's zoning doing its job. This is pure appeal to fear to rile people up. He selectively cites case law to make it look like rural boundaries are legally shaky, but he conveniently leaves out cases where counties actually already won on this exact issue. That's not oversight. That's deliberate. He cherry picks what helps his narrative and buries what destroys it. That's not legal reasoning. That's propaganda. Then he tries to argue that supermajority rules violate due process. But due process applies to individual decisions, not countywide policy votes. He's mixing two categories of law that don't even operate in the same universe. That's a category error, and a really clumsy one. He also claims that rural boundaries remove individualized hearings, but that was never a thing. Comp plans are policy, not case-by-case hearings. That's a false premise, and everything that follows from it collapses. He claims that because someone might file a Burt Harris Act claim, counties should lose their ability to protect their rural areas. That doesn't logically follow. People file Harris claims over everything. That doesn't mean the law is broken. That's a non sequitur. The conclusion has nothing to do with the premise. And here's the real story. Jonathan Martin, a senator from Southwest Florida, is injecting himself in Orange and Seminole County's business to side with developers who want to cash in on rural land. That's the motive, not constitutional rights, not fairness. It's political interference with voter-approved protections in counties he doesn't represent. And that's some boy. If your argument is strong, you don't need logical fallacies. You don't need fear tactics, and you definitely don't need to reach into counties that didn't elect you. So for Florida's sake, we're not letting this one slide.